what you shared at the end is absolutely fantastic, that we might just be having a bad day, but we can remember to really have those people in our life that help us out through those bad days, and there always is a tomorrow. Now, I hope to get this on before the camera's rolling, but I wanted to start this off. A book launch, like, how do you start that? I don't know, with a rap song? So, this is a story all about how we can turn our frowns upside down. I'd like to take a little minute and thank right now everybody in this crowd. Thank you all for coming out. It's going to be a fantastic night, and thank you to all of you for coming out, as well as everyone who ordered the book before and who couldn't actually make it down to Calgary tonight. So I hope to have one of these events in Calgary or in Edmonton, but I got a bit lazy and never pulled it off. But what matters most is we were able to raise a bunch of money for kids' cancer care. It'll come in around $1,800. So again, give yourselves a round of applause. So why did I write a book? I just woke up one day and thought I should write a book. We get this question all the time, and it was an event in my life about 6 years ago, and I haven't been able to share this with many people, but those closest to me absolutely know about the event. And it's only about 8 months ago I've really been able to talk to it. And why this event was so impactful in my life is because it had a very large change for myself. Out of that event, there's been a lot of inflection and really searching for more meaning out of my life, which really comes out a lot of the concepts of life through the eyes of a smile, because it is more than a book, it really is a lifestyle. So 6 years ago, on May long weekend, a bunch of boys out partying, having a fun time as college graduates do. We ended up at a bar, people had disappeared, I was the only one left, so I ended up taking a cab home by myself. When I got home, I didn't actually have any money with me, so I went inside, found a gentleman there who had money, came out, paid the cab. The cab pulled away. What I didn't know is they had gotten an altercation earlier at the bar, and these people had followed him home, so it was pretty serious. As the cab pulled away, the people walked up on the lawn, and that's really the last thing I remember before waking up in the ICU at U of A. So what happened was a baseball bat was involved in it. It was anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute 30, not too sure. That's where this nice scar comes from here, as well as this scar on the arm as well. So it's about 10 plus hours of basically the facial reconstruction, which absolutely pales in comparison to you, Maddie. But over those 7 days at the hospital, they were really times that had no energy in them, and I find I'm big on energy and being able to support. Like places like this have an incredible energy. When you go into a hospital, it's almost void in some areas. And so the 7 days that I was there was a highlight to every single day. And that highlight was getting up and going for a walk. And there's one ward in the U of A that always had some energy left to it. And that was the Stollery Children's Hospital. So I was able to actually walk into that ward and be refreshed on my day. There's still the ability to have smiles and a bit of happiness in there. Granted, not all the time. But these kids had not subscribed to the adult's mindset that we should feel down about ourselves. I had all the reason in the world from the adult's mindset in that ward, because the extent of my injuries were pretty serious, to be down on myself. And I was at that point in time. But after that experience, it has really left a burning question in my head that really boils down to how some people can be walking down the street, stub their toe, and have the worst day of their week, while others can have some pretty serious stuff going on in their life and still find that joy and happiness. So that brings me to life through the eyes of a smile. And that is really why I've written, and that's been over about the last 6 years. So it's only been about a year and a half that I've actually wrote, but over those last 6 years is really where those questions have been answering, talking to a bunch of people, trying a bunch of this stuff out on my own, all culminating into this book. It's exciting stuff. So square one in this book, well, stepping back a minute first actually, why life through the eyes of a smile? So why did I pick that crazy title? Why did I pick that smile on the front? So good questions to ask. Thank you for asking. There's a lot of happiness stuff out there, and I find that it's just this word that's thrown out a whole bunch, and it loses meaning. And in the English language, happiness is kind of a word that we always go to. In a couple different languages, there's more meaning to this word. I find when we say the word happiness, it doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. And it is also very tough to measure. How do you measure happiness? I don't know. So that is really where I'm looking at the smile as the feedback mechanism. So we know that we're having a happy moment in our life, and we can judge that across every single person in this room by looking at the smile that's on their face. Now this isn't just the smile that goes like this. This is the true smile that comes from the eyes. So back in the 1800s, they found this one out. It's called the Duchenne smile. So it also comes from the eyes, and I'm sure we can all relate to a time where we've been talking to someone and you're just looking at them like, what is that smile doing on your face? Get that off, it doesn't belong there, you know it's fake. So these are the smiles that also come from your eyes. These are the true smiles that we're looking for in life. And ultimately, when we get to the end of our life and we look back, success is not about the cars, it's not about the houses we've been in, it's not about the streets we've lived on, about the money that's been in our bank account. Ultimate success in life is when we look back, we think about the quality and quantity of smiles that we have been able to achieve over a lifetime. So when we talk about life through the eyes of a smile, that's what we want to work towards every single day. No longer do we have success, then happiness follows. It's the other way around. We find our happiness and success follows that. That is something that we all need to remember, and that is really the premise of this book. So again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Square one, it's really finding out where we are today and having an understanding of all the moments that have happened to us in life and really looking forward out of there. So there's been a bunch of great research done on personal well-being in life, and it all breaks down into different age ranges from around 18 to 75. The one that I always reference was done by the World Economic Forum in the UK a couple years ago. What it does is 18 to 25, we're doing pretty good, and then actually, quick little poll. Who is between the ages of 25 and 40 in here? Woo! I thought you were going to cheat. Okay. So, 25 to 40, these are the unhappiest times of our life. So we hit 18 to 25, and our well-being just goes into the gutter. And we hit 45, and then it starts coming up from there. And we hit parity with 18 to 25 around at 55, and then it skyrockets from there into our retirement. So, as everyone knows, my background is in stats and looking into these things. What I really see, and I think a lot of us will be able to actually grab onto, is there's a lot of expectations that hit you from 25 to 45 age. The expectation that you need to get out there and just put in the time and then good stuff will come. The expectation to find your passion in life. The heck is that? Right? Yeah, just follow your passion. No idea what that is. A lot of different expectations in there as well is to really move up in the world. You have the biggest house on the nicest street, and then that's really where happiness will come from. That's an expectation. What we really need to be doing is shifting that expectation mindset into a creation mindset. So when we're out there expecting, sitting on our front doorstep, the stork to drop off one of those fantastic fun weekends, one of those life through that, called the smile weekends, and it never comes, it becomes very bothersome to us, where we actually need to create that. And one thing to mention is everything that's in this book has been trialed by me personally, and I sat out on my porch for a month waiting for a stork to come by, and one started flying by on time, and I figured it was a pelican, and it pooped on my doorstep. So we need to get out there and we need to create these moments in our life. We need to create those happier times. We need to create everything that we expect out of life. And as soon as we start shifting that mindset, instead of sitting down and expecting raise, expecting the next thing to come to us, the higher title, the bigger house, expecting things just to happen and to make us have a happier life, we need to actually get out there and start creating these moments. Now this bridges into the next portion, which is all about creating these moments. And I talked to quite a few people on this one, and they'll say to me, well, Calvin, I sit on the couch and Netflix is the bomb, you know? That is what I need for happiness. That's what brings a smile to my face. I gotta give it to him, it's true. Life through the eyes of a smile, that's what happens, right? Has anyone heard or done the South Beach diet? South Beach? No one! Not a single person. Don't do it, it's not good. I want to talk about carbs, and I need everyone serious. There's good smile carbs, and there's bad smile carbs. Sitting on the couch and watching Netflix, yes, it brings a smile to your face, but that is a bad smile carb. That is something that really doesn't buy you anything in the long term. Yes, it gets you that happy moment from this time for about 15 minutes, or zombie, who likes zombies? It brings you that happiness for that period of time, but what fulfillment does it provide you in the long run? What does it do for you in the long run? It's a bad smile card. When we talk about good smile cards, getting hungry. These are the ones that are really going to take us forward, take us closer to that life through the eyes of a smile, take us on that pursuit of life through the eyes of a smile. These are the things where we're improving on a portion of our life, we're actually making ourselves a better person. I don't know, I want you to think right now really about an area of life where you would like to improve. This can be physical, it can be career-based, it can be at home, wherever it is, think about that. Soak it in. And really start focusing on doing those things, because if it has that much meaning for you and you want to actually move towards that in your life, that is one of the things that would be a good smile card. I'm sure no one thought in there about, well, I'm going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix unless some new season just came out. But we need to start thinking about these things in our life, and when it comes down to it, we need to start looking at just a small investment every single day into these things that will provide that long-lasting happiness, that long-lasting fulfillment. Those good smile cards. What's 15 minutes a day? What's half hour a day to start working towards? It's pretty simple stuff, and it's pretty fantastic. So from here, it's really all about moving forward in what happens tomorrow. So we have this wonderful thing when we're younger, and we lose it as we get older. Riddle, huh? It's our imagination. We need to get our imagination back. When we lose our ability to imagine and we lose our ability to dream, we shut down and we stop thinking about these things that can really take us forward in our life. If we can reactivate our imagination and we can really picture ourselves in a better place, if we can get that strong imagination going, that brings an emotional tie into the picture. And this is where you start thinking about yourself in that future position and that better self version that we're working towards. And it's pretty hard to back away from it. It's like having information and then not being able to do something with it. I'm sure there's a lot of people with big consciousness in here. And once you're armed with information, it's very hard not to act on it. So if you can reactivate your imagination that we learned to lose from when we're young, we also lose a few other things like having fun, being ridiculous. Brings me to a point that we all also need to stop taking ourselves so seriously. It's way too easy in that 25 to 40 to take ourselves way too seriously and to stop having fun. We can all take a note out of the book of our 7-year-old self and have some fun in the day, be a little silly, get ridiculous. So once we have that imagination back, that is really what brings that strong picture into our mind of who we are going to become and who we are going to work towards, which is so vital in this life. From here, there's a thing called the perfection trap that we have to be very careful with. When we start imagining things and we lay the path out of this is how I'm going to get to point B, and point B will be that better version of ourselves and that happier life, leading to life through the eyes of a smile. It's all too easy to lay it out as 10, 15 steps and see as I need to take every single one at the exact point in time. And if I fail on any of those, I just give up. When we get into the mindset of everything has to work out perfect, it deters from us being able to move forward. Because when we have one little falter, we want to just stop. And it's one of those things where we hold on to it way too much. This bridges over into a talk from Jim Carrey at the MUM, which I absolutely love, and I know a lot of people in this room have seen it. Super inspirational talk. What he talks about here is being able to move forward and forgetting about really how things are going to happen, but having one ingredient that's going to pull you forward. It's just one thing. I'm done talking today. And this is also another thing that popped up in all of the people I've talked to. So the people I like to talk to for this book, and the people I like to talk to about the concepts, are the people you see walking down the street, and you think that person's got something, I want to hang out with them. They just have an air about them, and they have ability. It's almost like a magnet you want to draw in. Maybe it's a crazy person on the train smiling. It's kind of cool. It's almost magnetic. And so every person I've talked to that's living this life through the eyes of a smile, regardless of the position they're in, they define success really as the quality and quantity of smiles over a lifetime. They have this one ingredient, and that ingredient is faith. Now this isn't faith as in a religious context, although it is for some. They do hold on to that, it propels them forward. This faith that we need to get is a faith in ourselves, a faith in our abilities to do the right thing, and to move forward. We really need to believe in ourselves. That's what everyone has. They have a faith that they're going to go out there and they're going to make a bunch of mistakes, but they're going to have more success than they do those mistakes, and that propels them forward. This is where we're talking about the bad days in our life. Faith is what gets us through that. When we believe in ourselves so much that we know that our consistent actions will take us to a better place, that's really what gets us out of those holes. And it's something that's easy to step away from. Brings into the picture failure with this. Failure is something to see, and it's really hard to take, so a lot of the time we just back out when we have failure in our lives. Jeb Corliss, he's a wingsuit flyer. He's one of the most inspiring people that I've been able to find. He has a lot of really great content online. I'd recommend watching it. And one of the things that really sticks with me is he says failure is an option. You have to choose to fail. If you never choose to fail, you never give up. You're just in the process of making things happen. And when we let that failure override us, that is a choice that we make in our life. We choose to fail. So if you never choose to fail and if you never give up, you're just in the process of making it happen. And that's where you have to have the faith in yourself to get to that future state. So, very inspirational guy, and that's one that definitely rings strong with me, is that we all need to be able to actually move past that, and it's all about the progression. So after failure, we get to the next portion, which I got a little into it there. It's fun, isn't it? Once we hit that faith in a better selves and being able to move forward is where we find really the next picture of ourselves. And this is all about progress in our lives. So if we're not progressing in our work, if we're not progressing in our personal relationships, if we're not just progressing in anywhere in our life, things get very old and they get very stale, and it becomes very hard to find a smile in the day. So this is where we always have to be pushing forward, and this is where the small things count. We very easily grab onto these big leaps of faith because in the moment we want to make a change. And the easiest one here is everyone in January, and it's beat up, but I'm going to beat it up again, is everyone wants to get in shape. And they really, really mean it at that point in time. And the emotion in them is so very strong that they cannot see themselves with any other emotion than what they have now. So they go to the gym for 15, 30 days straight, that emotion starts fading away, and we just fall off the rails because there's way too much. That is a massive leap that we're taking. We need to take tiny steps every single day. When I talk about 15 minutes, we talk about half hour. I'm serious with this sort of stuff. It is an investment over time. When we're talking about this picture is over our life, there's no magic pill and nothing's going to happen if we take a magic pill tomorrow. We have some crazy times. So we need to be putting that consistent time in. And there's something I call 7 and 4 lifestyle. It's not in this book, and it's in my next book that's coming out next month, so I hope to see everyone else. The 7 and 4 lifestyle. So this is an hour a day to improving yourself in one of those areas that you just thought about. One of those areas where you want to improve yourself in your life. Spark up that imagination, get that emotional tie to it. Just spend an hour a day. That's it. Yeah, start with a half hour. And put in the consistent time. That's going to pay off massive over a year. So this Life Through the Eyes of a Smile is all about having those little small steps along the way that pay off big in the long run. Again, there's no easy pills to life. This brings us to the last portion, which is about community. And the best thing about community is all the friends and fantastic people I have here. So I'm going to take a picture of everyone now. No using cell phones. I hope everyone's been using LTS Launch. You're mighty upset. I use the Smile Selfie too. Is that the one? Yeah, Smile Selfie. Everyone say, woo! Woo! Thank you for the memories. Another huge portion of our life too is the ability to experience things. And what I did just there was, yes, taking a picture and zoning into my phone. It's nice to have those memories again. Thank you, Mother, for taking the pictures today. It was fantastic. When was the last time that you sat and you went through your senses to really experience a situation? Whether it was the smell, the taste, the sound, the other ones that are in there. When was the last time? When was the last time that you actually tried to experience all your senses? Take it away and do this tomorrow. It's absolutely fantastic. It's all too easy to get caught up in the 1,000 task lists in a day and get into something I call the 7-year fear. We basically go through 7 years of our life and we come out the other side and think, oh my God, what just happened? Where am I? And for me, that's probably one of the scariest things in life to be able to actually confront, is having that just pass by. And this is where if we can reactivate that sense of imagination and reactivate just being aware of what's around us, this is really where we can get to it, because this brings in aspects of appreciation to that day, appreciation to the things that are around you. And when you really focus on it, that's where you start creating the memories. Activating the memory is another big portion of the imagination. Typically when we look back that 5 to 7 years, like, what do you remember? I find this one's always interesting for me. A lot of it happens out of vacation and spending time with family, but what memories do you have without really looking in a calendar or looking in your phone over the past week, month, year? These are all things to start keeping in mind, to really start focusing on the situations more and on the life through the eyes of a smile. That's what it's all about, is really remembering those fantastic moments that you can actually have and experiencing them as well. So with no further ado, we get back to the community side of things. And that's where having a group of people like this is so absolutely fantastic. Humans were meant to be together. They've done a study in Harvard for about 75 years, real fantastic one, where they took these, they're around teenage, so right coming out of college from Harvard, as well as another much less off college in the States. So Harvard's your pinnacle, and you have more of a community college. So they got a nice disparity of people into this study, and it's been ongoing for 75 years. And what they wanted to find out was really what brings us well-being in our life, and really what's going to make us healthier over time. So they ran a bunch of tests on them from blood work and more of the scientific side, and they also ran some questions more past them to really come up with that well-being rating. And they found 3 things out of it: that loneliness kills, the second one, quality over quantity in our relationships, and the very last one, this one that I sometimes like to forget, the very last one is that our emotional pain, or our physical pain, can actually be intensified by our emotions, and if we have a good emotional state as well, it can actually limit that pain. So when we talk about the people in our lives and we talk about this life through the eyes of a smile, it's so very important to also be experiencing this stuff with people around you. If I was in here talking to myself, it wouldn't be nearly the same thing. It's all about having people. If we were all out there and there was only a few of us, sure, it would have been good, but the energy and the experience when you get a bunch of people together is absolutely amazing. That's something that we all need to be doing, is looking at creating these experiences with other people, because it's very rare we look back on life and think, yeah, that was probably one of the best times, and it was by myself. And like I said, I've tried this all out before. I've been in a room by myself and it sucked. But being in a room with other people is always fun. Sharing life with other people is very important. So another important portion of this is the first one, the loneliness kills. So we know that we can be in a room with people like this and still feel lonely. We can feel completely alone in a room with people. So it's so very important to branch out and having conversations with people, and it's something that's very, very uncomfortable for the most part, but this is the sort of stuff where you can make a massive impact. And a lot of the stuff in the book is about real small activities that you can do to make a difference in someone else's day. It takes so little on our part to make such a big difference in someone else's day. There's so much stuff out there where you hear about someone, just a smile on a train absolutely changing someone's day who's having a really tough time. Reach out and bring those people into your life, and you'll never know what impact you could have, whether it's holding a door, helping them move some stuff. I was actually leaving my apartment today with all my books, and the lady hit the elevator and thought she was going to hold it for me, and I was walking over with all the books, and it slammed shut, and I was like, oh, it would have been so nice. But small stuff. They were heavy books. Those things. So yeah, reach out and really bring people into your life and celebrate life with others. Quality over quantity too. So this really gets into, we can be in a relationship and it does nothing for us, it's completely toxic. That's a person, that's someone in our life, but that's not quality. So quality always reigns over quantity, and that's something to hold very close. Now the last portion here, for me where it really hits the most is whenever I think about visiting someone in a hospital and they're in a more tough situation, and you can make them laugh laugh and they forget about the pain for that point in time. If you have people around you who can really keep you in that healthy emotional state, it can, and the research shows that it really limits the pain. If you have someone around you that really just stresses you emotionally, it can skyrocket that pain. So that's another real interesting thing. So talking about some of the toxicity in our life leads me to the next portion, which is the people that our moms wouldn't approve of. So we're always going to have the people in our life that our moms wouldn't approve of, and you always hear the information out there that you should just get rid of that person from your life. I don't subscribe to that. I don't buy into that. A lot of these people you've had some really fantastic emotional connections to in life. You're not just going to kick them out. You've shared a lot of fantastic things. Instead, what you're going to look at doing, and this book is all about improving your life and leading that life that's more rich with smiles. What we need to do here is really, we got our support crew around us, so any of those areas where we thought about improving our life that would really make a big difference to us, think about them again now, really where you want to improve on in your life. Now think about someone that you know who can help you out with that. These are the people you want in your support crew. So these are the people, and when I was talking at the start about expectations too, as we go through life, it becomes very easy to be pulled in all different directions. And what I compare this to is really handing the keys on our vehicle of life over to someone else, and they now have the direction. So it's always very important to keep those keys tight to you and stay strong to what you believe and really move forward from that. The people that you are going to bring into your life who are going to help set the direction are those people who want to see you succeed more than anything else, and who are also looking to succeed in those areas and really build on the same things. These are the people you want in your support crew. Those are the people that are going to be close to you, and I always compare this to NASCAR, and the people that your mom doesn't approve of. When we talk about NASCAR, we have a support crew that's really close, and that's kind of our race day when we're improving our life, but there's all the fans in the crowd as well. So these are the people who are still going to be there, and they're still going to watch. You're not going to kick them out of your life. That, to me, is completely unrealistic. Sometimes it does have to happen, but they are still going to be there for you because you've shared some really strong experiences. So community is so important and vital, and as part of the community, thank you for you all coming out tonight. The life through the eyes of a smile, again, it's all about redefining success. It's not the cars, it's not the houses, it's not the money. When we look at the end of life, that stuff really doesn't matter. It's about the quantity and quality of smiles we were able to achieve over a lifetime. So that forces us to get into some deeper thought and some really getting out of the comfort zone. But nothing good has happened within the comfort zone, and we do need to get uncomfortable in these situations to really improve ourselves in life. And when we talk about progress and what's moving forward, progress just doesn't happen when we sit on the couch. This is the stuff we're really looking to put some effort into and improve our life. And when we start tying that together with an imagination of really that person that we are going to become, and we have a faith in ourselves to do the right things and move forward towards that, it becomes really magical. And again, we want to take the steps, not the leaps on this journey. The leaps lead us to really just giving up. We have to accept failure along the way and again have that faith to move forward. We just take on small things every single day, 15 minutes, half hour, and over a year it'll be amazing how far you've come. And at the end of it, remember to always celebrate it with others and always bring people up around you. Find those people in your life who are going to be rooting for you more than anything, and surround yourself with them. Because life is much more fantastic that way. So thank you all for coming out tonight, and I wish you the most happy and successful life through the eyes of a smile. One last thing. We have the donation options really at KCC, so I'm going to follow up with everyone tonight. And there's 3 options that I'm going to ask everyone, and so it'll be a group thing because this was really all of us raising money together. And then we'll make a decision in about a week or so off of basically all the votes that came in. And I cannot thank you enough for coming out tonight. Woo!